Have you ever wondered how a show is coordinated? Say hello to the DSM. This is me on a West End panto, and I'm going to be giving you a little bit of insight into how a show is called for lighting, flies, people flying, and sound. Now, I don't have a proper intro for this, but I really want to show you all the behind the scenes footage and talk through some of the key technical moments as we go through the show. And we start off with the beginner's call, which happens 5 minutes before the show, and what you're about to see is me hitting the barbells and making sure that everyone is there. And there are the barbells.
Hello. This is your beginner's call. Flies to the flight floor, orchestra to the pit, technicians to positions, and beginners to the stage. This is your beginner's call.
So I warn people on cans, and then I do a backstage call so that all the company know, and I'm about to go through over cans, making sure that everyone is there and marking them off. Fabulous. Alex? Now we're just waiting on beginners to start. Hopefully I haven't jinxed this by recording, but let's see. It wasn't one of our two showstops. Do you want me to do a backstage call? So we're missing some beginners, so I'm writing down their names so that I can do a backstage call, and they also get added to our naughty list of people that are late.
And we have Hugh, Danny, Dimmy, Amelia to the stage for beginners, please. Backstage call done.
Now, something I like to do is get other people to hit the barbells if they're around. It's always nice to have company in the box, and it's quite fun for them to be able to hit that button and see what happens.
One burst.
So once beginners are in position, I'm then just waiting for clearance, which comes from front of the house, which basically means that everyone is in their seats who needs to be, because you don't want to turn the lights out and make it dangerous. While this was happening, there was actually an issue with Aria's mic, which I found out over cans. It wasn't in the first scene, so I just wanted to make sure it wasn't a huge issue, so I could make the call to get the show started, as we were already around 4 minutes late.
She's not in the first scene. As long as it's not a major issue, we can probably get started. Okay, fabulous. In which case, we now have clearance. Standby house lights in LX 1 to 7. Thank you very much. Standby house music off. Standby Overture. Standby Cameo. Thank you. House lights off, go. House music and LX1, go. Overture, go. LX2, go.
That scream will never get old, so I stood everyone by and then got the show started, and on the overture I'm then counting some of the bars to make sure that I can hit the cues in time before we could then get everyone on the stage.
Go. LX4, go. LX5, go. LX6, go. LX7 Cameo, go.
And after the Cameo amping the children up, which involved some very loud screams,
I think you can do better than that. That's the way to do it.
and yes, I did mute myself on cams to spare everyone a little bit, put an earbud in. We were then into the first song. And this is what queuing a flying performer entrance looks like.
Oh, I have to have so many teeth.
I personally prefer to fly a lot on lights, which means that all of my Foyes or flying performers I had on lights. Now, this is one of the first technical sequences because I had performers flying, a cloth going up afterwards. I also had the MD on a ramp so that we could have the music at the same time, as well as a pyro. The pyro and LX are all on verbal cues, and the performing flyers, flies and MD are all on lights. So what's going to happen is I'm going to get the note from the ASM that she is all hooked up and ready to fly, and then I will release the MD to come out of the vamp, cue the LX and pyro, and then when she's almost out, the lights will go out along with the flies coming back in, which is a cloth in. So let's see what this looks like. So now we're heading into the next scene and we actually have some live band members. So what I'm doing is watching in the blackout to wait for those band members to be on stage and ready to go. And then I will release the MD to come out of this vamp of the Unstoppable and into the next song, which is Austin Hold'em. Now, this is another relatively technical sequence, which is Hydra's entrance. So there's a verbal cue which tells me when to turn the lights off. And then in the darkness, we're bringing flies in. So that's on the lights that's flying in. I'm then waiting for Hydra to be in position, which is a stage manager call. And then I lift up the skull with the lights off, wait for her to be clear again a stage manager call, so we don't bring anything down on her head. And then we bring the skull back in. It looks pretty cool, right? Now you can probably see quite a few lights on the board at the end of Act 1. That's because we're about to have 3 people fly. So what I've actually done is grouped those 3 buttons together so I can hit GO, that's go, all together. And I also have the flies on standby, ready for the end of the song. So it's then a quick ungrouping of buttons, so I'm all reset for Act 2. So after a successful first half, one of the first things that I do is note down the end time of the first half and then also set alarms on my phone so that I know when to do beginner's call for the second half. I'm not going to show you all the restarting of the show as it's very similar to the beginning of the show, but it just gives you a bit of an idea. The interval is also a great time to solve issues. So I had an issue with the fault light, so I was just checking with the MD what I was going to come back to her and tell her what I did in the second half.
It looks like it might be working, but can I give you what we're doing at beginners if that's alright? I'm going to see if I can get it solved. Perfect, thank you.
And into Act 2. And some songs have a lot of cues. So we have this moment in the song Unstoppable, which is very much a Wicked-esque moment where the baddie, Hydra, gets lifted in the air with the fabric associated with her. Now the way we make this happen, she doesn't have the fabric attached to her at the beginning of the song, is that we go to a blackout, which then allows the ASM to run on stage along with the other people in black velvet jumpsuits to lay the fabric out, as well as hook Hydra up so that she can fly into the air and also attach the fabric to her, which is almost like a weightlifting belt. During this time, I have the MD on vamp, which means the music is repeating until I am told that it's clear and I can see on the infrared monitor that everyone is now off stage, at which point I release the music, turn the lights on and get her lifted up. Now, almost finally, pantos often have song sheets, which are repeating bits of music which get audience participation as they listen to the song. Now, we use this in order to get everyone into their final glittery costumes as you have a few people on stage. This is usually super fun, but one thing, it can take quite a while to get all the beginners. So although the stage is set behind, I'm asking for beginners, and sometimes it comes towards the end, but sometimes, like this time, it comes right before we're about to go into another round, and I want to avoid that. She see me rush to tell the MD we don't have to go again, and that we can get the house lights off, change the LX and get the song sheet lyrics out and restart to go for the final number. And of course, it wouldn't be the end of the show without one more lift of our main character, Aria. So what you have at this point is people still dancing on stage, but we're coming towards the end of the music. So you see people run back, which means that they're going to be clear of that cloth that's going to come down. I'm watching to cue the end of the lights and then glance up to make sure that everyone is clear of that cloth, cue it to come down, and then you see it come down now. People are waving, and literally as soon as this cloth hits the floor, people will run away as they go back to their changing rooms. We bring Aria back for safekeeping, and I'm taking notes of the final time so we know how long that production ran in total. Thank you very much for joining me as I show you a bit of the behind the scenes of what DSM looks like on OSM Panto. If you enjoyed this, please see my channel for more behind the scenes Panto content, as well as me trying various other things and adventures.